Ah! Oh shit! Sorry, hey, I got to do my intro.
Thunder Myth on the Myth Cam.
Cam, it's Michael. Help me. I need help right now.
I enjoy having breakfast in bed. I like waking up to the smell of bacon. Sue me. And since I don't have a butler, I have to do it myself.
You know, it has been so long since I've streamed that I forgot how to stream. Like shit,
Hey.
it's been a couple months since we've actually done a stream like this, so I mean, you gotta give me I got a solid excuse. Got a solid excuse for this one. But
I haven't reviewed in so long. I hope I'm not rusty, and I probably will be.
me too. I have to drink some water before I have to do this. Gotta wet the tonsils. But anyway, what is up, guys? My name is the Austinator, and welcome back to the channel. And welcome back, for the first time in a long time, another live stream. Holy shit. I know I've been doing some, gaming vids, but this is the first stream we're doing in quite a solid bit. So, guys, welcome back. You know, it's the 11th episode of Austinator and Angry CareBears Talk Movies. This is the third film in a series of 5 where we talk TheMatrix. God, and knowing where it's going to end, I'm not looking forward to it, but it's always a pleasure to have my co-host Angry CareBears here with me. Say hello.
Hello. Oh boy, I'm just thinking about Matrix 4 again. Can't wait for that, you know.
Oh,
I really don't want to watch that movie again. It's so boring.
I don't want to watch this movie at all. I still have yet to watch The Matrix Resurrections, and I don't want to.
I was sitting there next to my brother, and I kept, drifting off and spacing out, and I almost fell asleep. I put my head back, and I went to Phil. Phil's my brother. I said, is this movie, really boring, or is it just me? And he's like, no, this movie's bad.
If I had to pay for that movie, I'd be pissed. I'd be like, bro, what the fuck?
I didn't. We had a season pass to our movie, so we didn't pay for anything except for, the food and stuff. So, hey. But, I mean, I keep seeing it at Walmart and Target, and I'm like, the poor soul who bought this thinking, oh my god, I missed it in theaters. I could finally enjoy it.
I wouldn't pay for it in a fucking bargain bin.
It's just one of those things where it's like I wouldn't even care for it as a collector thing, I will never own Dead Rising 4. I will never own The Matrix 4.
We just don't own anything 4 whatsoever.
Unless it's Resident Evil 4, then that's a banger. And Silent Hill 4. So, there are exceptions.
There are, but for the most part, never get 4.
Yeah, pretty much.
Petty comes in, and we still have to do the Willie's review. Yes, we will be doing that in a couple of time, but first things first, we got to finish The Matrix. But before we begin, I wanted to do the huge announcement. Really the big announcement that I've been hyping up a little bit. I decided, because I do another show, Austinator and Friends Talk Pop Culture. You guys might know what that is. So it's gotten to a point where I could barely control it, and our channel will probably be my channel will be wiped off the face of the planet if I keep putting it on my channel. So moving forward, I decided that the boys and we're gonna put the pod on a brand spanking new group channel.
Hey.
And I decided that we need a brand because the Austinator Friends Talk Pop Culture, that's just it's a little too long of a name. We needed something a little bit shorter, a little bit more crisp, you know what I mean? Like a little bit more, like something that'll, show us as a group. We could have called ourselves the Fantastic Four, but then there's copyright problems, thing with the word four in it just is like, that's probably already taken. So the Lazy Gamers with a Z. Pays like, can I be a part of this channel? My channel you could be a part of. I don't know about the group one because there's people on there that you probably won't get along with, and I don't really want to deal with the drama because I'm too tired for this shit. Listen, I go to work at 4:00, so I mean,
you should upload more on Spotify with our episodes. I don't know if you've caught up on all of them.
I'm only gonna put the ones that I actually feel like should go on Spotify.
Understandable. Yeah.
The other ones,
but you should also make a separate. You should make a separate show for our reviews too.
I could,
so I'd like
but
to
it's
listen to that.
I could, but at the same time, then I got to go through the hassle of making another one.
Oh yeah. I get that. It says 1 subscriber, but I am the second one. Also, Austin, I believe you are muted. Oh, very fun. Okay. So it looks like we're having some technical difficulties. That's all right. It's not an Austinator show with friends if there isn't at least one.
Oh, shit.
And he's back. Here we go.
It's this fucking heat, man. I'm telling you.
It destroys the internet.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Because I was like, wait, what the fuck? Like, everything was shorting out. And it's like, oh, my God. But... guys, I just linked the group channel. Go ahead and sub if you please, because listen, I'm a sub whore. You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah, who isn't on this platform?
You're absolutely right. You are 100% correct. But you know what?
Can't make it any other way.
But you know what, though?
What? Uh-oh.
Do we have...
You're cutting out, bud.
A group chat? But I also... But you too! No!
Oh, you're glitching out so much, man.
All right, are we good?
I think so.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. Well, not only do we have a YouTube, I know this is a shit show of a stream, but look, you gotta work with what you got. We also have a Twitter.
Oh, I didn't know about the Twitter.
Yes, we have a Twitter right now. We'll probably have other things too.
Very good.
But
very good.
We'll have some more stuff coming in pretty soon. Also, we'll on our group channel we'll have other shows and other things. So be sure to check that out when you can. Okay, so Animatrix. I know that we kind of been a little. It's just we're getting to that point, getting that point of the day where we gotta actually talk about it. Animatrix. Okay, fuck it. Here we go. The Animatrix is something new that we're fuck, what am I saying here? I'm losing my shit today. The Animatrix. Okay, so this is the one that you're all here to see, right? You're not here to see my internet cut out. You're not here to talk about a group channel. No, you're here about fucking the Animatrix. All right, this is the 3rd out of 5 movies, and my fucking profile picture. God damn it, my profile picture sucks.
You know, it's weird. On the stream, you don't have a profile picture, but on my laptop, as I'm on StreamYard, I can see it.
So here.
Uh-oh.
That one he can't see. There we go. This one I can see.
Oh, God.
But, yes. What?
I mean, what? Your profile picture. Is it Morbin time?
Oh, you're right. It's always Morbin time here. What do you mean?
Oh, Christ.
Plus, it's the only one that would work. So, you know what? Fuck it. It's Morbin time. All right, Animatrix. Here we go. Matrix number 3, as I like to say, even though it doesn't really count, but it does count. Matrix
it's side
3.
stories.
This one actually came out. It is side stories, and it also came out the same year as 2 other Matrix movies. 2003. I was barely 1 at that time, so you know, I don't remember 2003 all that well. But you know what?
Oh.
But it was
Austin.
Matrix, though. It's basically an anime movie, but at the same time, it's not an anime movie, though. As you also have a lot of cool animated stuff in between. We're going to talk about everything the Animatrix and how it kind of plays into the other Matrix films. We'll just talk about everything here. You know, it's, you know, rather than it being a review where it's like, hey, you know, what are we doing? You know, what do we like, what we dislike? No. We're just going to talk about our overall thoughts and just the episodes or not the episodes, but like the short stories and all that jazz. Does that sound good to everybody? All right, that's
yeah.
Well, you know what, Ninjoid? You know, sorry to say I have shitty internet, all right?
Austin, you keep cutting out like every other sentence.
Well, I'm sorry that I can't have the chat internet that you people have.
We're not making fun of you. We just want... It's just, you know, you start talking.
No. You all got the chat internet. I see how it is.
My chat internet. Oh my god. I'd be lucky to run YouTube.
Yeah, you got that fancy internet. You got that fancy, you know...
Spectrum.
You got the fancy dish anime, you know, freaking
No, I
internet.
have Spectrum.
Oh, well. But it's fucking up again. Hang on a minute. I'm moving closer to somewhere better. This is ridiculous.
Oh, man.
All right, maybe it's better, but I'm going to have to stand near my doorway holding my laptop to the door.
Okay.
All right.
We'll hope it works.
Plus, my first stream back, so everybody shut up. All right, Animatrix, here we go. Angry CareBears, you can start. What are your overall thoughts before I get into all the other stuff?
My thoughts right now is I can't stop staring at Jared Leto's stupid face as you're talking to me.
Well, you're gonna keep staring at it.
Okay, but I thought it was actually really good. Probably the second best movie in the franchise. It's just so pretty. The art style is so pretty. It's just visually a fantastic animated film.
Yeah, you know what? I actually have to agree with you. I didn't expect much from this movie. I was just like, oh, it's a directed home video movie. And it's like, oh, this is after the first Matrix. I don't know if this is going to be any good. But I was actually really impressed. I actually saw this movie like a couple hours ago, and I shit you not. It was probably one of the best, not necessarily the best, but one of the better animated films that I've seen. And it's like one of those animated films that's more like an anthology animated film where it's actually different animated, like different teams worked on this film, and they worked on separate of the stories, I like to call them. And like there's so many different art styles that are used here that actually like they look so clean and crisp and better than a lot of the animation we get today actually, because it's like
Oh,
hand drawn.
definitely.
And I love just like, because like I'll even get into like some of the specifics, because like some of them have like really like great transitions throughout, and I think the overall just the overall animated film, like for a bunch of short stories, I thought was really interesting, and some of them pieced together like a lot of the questions I had when it came to like the first Matrix. At the very least, I thought it actually did a really good job piecing together those questions, and also kind of adding a little bit more lore and backstory to an already kind of complex story, which we'll get into right now, kind of. So the film did start off. I'm taking. I had to. I didn't remember the titles because I just saw it, but so I'm kind of going on Wikipedia, but I do know what happened in them. So yeah, so let's begin with the first one, which was Final Flight of the Osiris, which I believe this one, from what I'm reading, actually kind of ties into the Matrix video game, which I think also came out in 2003. So I mean,
I haven't played the game or any Matrix game, so I didn't, pick up on any references if it is tied to the game. Unfortunately.
but I do remember this because the first scene is very sexually. I think they were sexually frustrated when they made this because they had a sword fight at the beginning, and like by the end of it, they were like in their underwear, and I think it was a guy named Thaddeus, and then there's a female named Jew, I believe. They were like fighting with swords, and then throughout their clothes were getting ripped to the point where like they were just in their underwear, and then they're both peeking under their blindfolds because the guy's in his boxers, and the female's just clad in like a bra and underwear, which
Yeah, it's an anime. It's expected.
I mean, not gonna lie, my man's was looking pretty hot there, so I mean, she looked hot too, but my man's though, he looked great. Yeah, but the action looked great, and you know what the animation kind of reminds me of? It reminds me of like those old like Xbox GameCube games where like you get like the game, like the cutscenes with like the pretty decent CGI, but then when you get to like the actual game, it actually looks pretty bad. But the CGI cutscenes look great. Like that's what the animation kind of reminds me of.
Oh yeah, definitely. I loved old games like that.
Me too. It kind of reminds me of like that Spider-Man movie game that came out in 2002.
Yeah, I would play the second one a lot.
And there was like this and then it had the opening where like it's all like these fast shots of like he gets bitten by the spider, and then the Green Goblin comes in, and he went through like a window. Like that was pretty fucking like that's what the vibes it gave me. And yeah, like the first one's not like too overly complex. It's just a crew running from a bunch of sentinels, which ends with all of them dying. But I thought even like the action for like as little as like we get a bit of action in the beginning, but it's like not like it's not a lot. Like you see shots of them like actually fighting, with the sentinels and on the ship. I thought the action sequence looked great. and the animation throughout looked good, but I will say though, when I think when Drew goes into the Matrix, the animation does not look that good. Like it actually kind of looked a little.
Wonky.
It didn't age well. Yeah, like it looked a little wonky. I don't know if it's because of like the brightness. I don't know if it's the contrast. I don't know what. But I will say it definitely looked better when it was not like had that green contrast, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
But I will say though, it kind of set the tone for the rest of the film, I shall say. And it was pretty cool for what it was. Nothing complex.
It's just a starter story. It's not the best.
Yeah, it's like a good hook, shall we say.
Yeah.
So nothing really talk about there. So I'm just gonna move on to the second Renaissance parts 1 and 2. Now this one caught my interest because this actually really was the origin story of the Matrix itself, and really how the Sentinels came to be. And it's kind of a generic story of, oh, humans build robots. Oh, the robots are sentient. Oh, well, then people, are like, oh, fuck robots. We're gonna be totally cruel towards them. And the next thing you know, the robots fucking uprise against them. Like, it's kind of a generic story. Yeah, but I will say it is still interesting because humans in this universe, when the Matrix gets created, are fucking stupid. Because all this could have been avoided had they just let the fucking robots join the UN. You know what I mean? Like,
I never understood stories like that. It's like, you created them, why can't you just let them do things with you? Like, what's the point of creating them if you won't let them do the things that you create them for?
Exactly. Or have like a fucking like override switch so you could you could kill them, because it's like.
And if you're gonna be abusive, don't make them super smart.
Exactly, and I believe it starts, and the animation, at the beginning where it's like the I don't know what to call them, but they were like I guess you could say they were like AI sort of
Yeah.
Like, and I thought the animation looked great, and there were like a couple transitions that looked absolutely smooth. I think there was like one where the apple would like turn into ice and it like fell apart and stuff, but realistic. So the basic story of it is humans created robots. They created machines to help them, but then they become abusive towards them. And then one of the machines actually killed somebody, and then that's what led into a huge trial. And then, all this crazy stuff happened, and then they found the machine guilty, and then they were like, all right, fuck this machine, and also fuck all the other machines like that. So we're just going to, eradicate all the machines. And then they basically do that, which I thought the animation here looked great. Especially, I think there's like one actual sequence where they would like one of the robots dressed up as a human, and then one of the guys was like tearing apart like the flesh and stuff, and then all you saw was like the robot exoskeleton. Which absolutely.
It's like gore without the gore.
Yeah, it was unsettling, but it was like,
because you can just imagine, like, oh, what if it actually was a human? It's just, I don't know how to put it. It's like watch someone get their guts torn out, but with no blood.
Exactly, and Peggy comes in. To be fair, humans are pretty stupid in real life.
I mean, you're right. But, yeah, however, there are people nowadays who probably would protect a robot more than a human, so I don't think that the abuse would come in real life anymore.
No. I mean, hey, I would protect a robot.
I mean, I wouldn't abuse it, but I'd rather choose a human.
It depends on the human.
That's true. That is very true.
So anyway, the robots then proceed to then leave to create their own little country because, the humans just said, yeah, fuck you, go away. And then they're like, hey, we should be included in the UN. And the human's like, no, go. No, leave us alone. And then they're like, all right, bet. And then so then, like, everybody now in the UN are now united because they're like, yeah, fuck robots. And then the robots like, hey, we should join too. And then like, go fuck yourself. And then they get kicked out. And then they're like, all right, we're gonna violence, of course. And 01, they actually call their country 01. And so then, of course, they're like, all right, fuck the robots. They're not going in the UN. All right, let's bomb them. And then, of course, that leads into World War 3000 when it comes to the robots. Then this leads... God, this is stupid. So, basically now, at this point, the robots are kicking everyone's asses. So they're like, all right, we need to come up with the final solution. And what was their final solution? Well, let's make everything dark.
Hey, why not? I won't see us coming.
Exactly. And then it was all too dark. And then because the robots were feeding off solar energy, and it didn't turn out very well for them, because then it led to a lot of problems, because without the sun there's no food, and without food you can't eat, and it leads into a famine because we're fucking idiots. And then of course all the machines that we have are dead. So then they're like, oh shit, well, let's go back to the old school days. Let's fight guerrilla style. And they look at how that turned out. That didn't turn out very well now, did it? So then the machines kidnap people, and then, then the world leaders are like, oh, fuck. All right, well, I guess we got to surrender then, because we kind of fucked up here. And then, the machines are like, all right, well, yeah, you got to shed your skin now. And then I was like, oh, wait, what? It's like,
Fun.
Yeah, you're not humans anymore. Like, no. Like, now the machine's like the head of the UN now, I guess, which...
I mean, what else are you going to do?
I guess you
say
can
no
call
to
them...
the guy's going to tear you apart?
I guess you can call them the RN, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no, here, I got the direct quote here. Your flesh is a relic, a mere vessel. Hand over your flesh and a new world awaits you. We demand it.
That's such a cool quote.
That is a
so
badass
ominous.
quote.
It's so ominous.
I'm just going to, like, take that for everyday use. I'm just going to be like...
I'm just going to randomly say that to people. Go to Walmart, say it to someone.
We demand yes as the answer. So, and then this is the crazier part. When after they do the speech, they drop a fucking bomb on themselves. It's like, good lord.
They really wanted to make a point, huh? Taking suicide bombing to a new level.
It's like, fuck, man, that was crazy. And then at this point, they build the first version of the Matrix, and they did this basically by, I guess, with bioelectricity, and like they were like kind of like seeing how like human emotions worked, so that for the reason how to make the Matrix. So I gotta say, it was very interesting how they even created it. Like, the road to getting to creating it really wasn't that impressive. It was just like, oh, it's kind of the stereotypical, oh, humans are stupid, and then the robots, uprise, and then they take us out pretty easily. Like, it's generic, but I think the way they create the Matrix is very interesting, and it actually kind of makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But the only problem that I had with it, with that is basically the higher power, basically. Because in The Matrix Reloaded, you see Neo talk with the one above all, basically. Now, that leads me to think that, was this... So, it kind of goes back to the watch theory, where, watch washed up on an island. Like, who created the watch? So, you would think that the one above all would create the watch, and, God creates machines, and so the machines were created by God for humans to use to inevitably create the Matrix. Man, I think I just solved the conundrum here. The Matrix was always going to happen, but it was, or maybe it couldn't have happened because, you know, humans had, because we have the free will to do something, but then we do it the wrong way, and that leads to a wrong scenario. Man, that I just solved it right there. That makes total sense.
Hey, it's pretty cool though. I mean,
it is really cool. Like I will say the Animatrix is really cool. Like when it comes to like piecing together like what actually happens throughout. So I got to give them props on that one. I think the next one was a thing called Program, which this one is another. This one is another pretty simple one, I would say. Like it's not overly complex, but it kind of comes down to free will. Like I guess this is what like this story was about, and that was free will. There's this character named Sis, and you know her favorite simulation she likes to be in is Imperial Japan, which you know all the samurais and Mongols and stuff. And
it looked gorgeous, by the way. Like the
yeah, it looked tremendous. Like it looked like one of those like you know like Yu-Gi-Oh on
yeah.
Like it kind of has that animation style a little bit. So
it was just
she's fighting like
it was I don't know, the aesthetic.
Yeah, the aesthetic looked absolutely beautiful. And so she's fighting all like these like all the enemies and stuff, and then Duo, that's the guy's name, and he had this like crazy fit on, like he had like this crazy samurai armor on, and he had the face mask on it, and you know, and then they spar a little bit, and then and then he's talking about you know, do you ever regret taking the red pill? It's like, well, no, because you know, granted there may be times, sure, but then you kind of really don't learn the truth of everything. And he's like, all right, well, I'm about to go back to the Matrix, you know, you should come with me. And she's like, nah, you're fucking with me. And he's like, nah, like I'm planning to go back to the Matrix, so you're with me or against me, bitch.
Something about this story that was interesting to me is just the idea of like loving something that's not real, and will you leave it behind for like real friends? Like choosing between something that's not real but it makes you happy. Is it real enough to you to keep, or it's something that's actually grounded? It's just like, I don't know. When I watched The Matrix, I always thought about something like that, especially from Matrix 4, where like Trinity had like this husband, and I thought, what if you have like a husband or whatever in the Matrix and they're not real? Like how like shattering is it that something you love and put all your care into never existed? And it also makes me think, like, in the Matrix, like, is everyone real, or is there not enough people to fill the Matrix world, so they just make up people? And what if one of those AIs becomes aware that they're in a Matrix, and then there's an even more earth-shattering thing of everything around me isn't real, but what if I'm not real? Like, I want a story like that too.
Yeah, it's like it's like it kind of comes back to you know, is life a simulation type of thing? Yeah. Like is what we're seeing right now just what we picture in our own minds? Like right now we might not even be talking to each other. Like you could be a figment of my imagination, just like, you know, I could be a part of your imagination type of thing. We don't really know what's really happening, because for all we know, this is not real. Like for all we know, we could be in a room we could be in a dark room somewhere, and this is just not like the computer that I'm, you know, feeling and touching right now, and like what I'm talking into might not be real.
Yeah. It's a scary thought.
Really scary. Like this could all be just like a part of our minds, you know? It's like it's kind of something to think about in a way, you know. It's like it's scary, but it's also really interesting. Like,
Yeah.
it's one of those things where I will never know, but I really want to know, like, how we came to be. Like, is like there because there has to be a higher power, right? Like, we could
Yeah.
have just been placed here for a reason, type of thing. Like God wouldn't have put us here without a reason. Like, He wouldn't have given us free will for nothing, right? Like, He could have had it been a control, like, oh, like, you do this, you do that. No, like, free will, God gave us that. I think because I took a science versus religion course this past semester, and one of my professors showed me this show. I think it's on TBS. It's like a comedy of sorts. It has Steve Buscemi, Daniel Radcliffe in it. Fuck, what was it called? Because it had God in it, and he basically creates Earth, and he gives us free will, and of course, you know, shit goes to shit, and then he's like, oh fuck, the end of the world's coming, and then it's like, uh-oh, Earth's fucked. We got to get these two people together, or else Earth's screwed, and then shenanigans happen. But it's one of those things where it's just really interesting to think about. Like, it's one of life's greatest mysteries, and really the greatest mystery is how we were here.
Honestly, yeah.
Like, honestly, when I die, and eventually when I meet God, I that's like the one question I would ask him is, you know, how did we get here? You know, like, I kind of want to ask him that. Like, I really wish there was there's an entire like database that they have up there, and then it's like, you know, I could just like type into a computer like, oh, like, and I could like see events that haven't happened, like, that I wasn't alive for. Like, that'd be like really cool.
That's another thing, like, with this episode, quote unquote, that I thought was cool is that you can enter a simulation at any time. Like, imagine if we get that technology in real life, like how you can see whenever you want.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, if I
Like maybe you don't have to
simulations-
wait. You know, you can just get it.
Like, I just want a
Yeah.
machine that, like, I could just go into different multiverses. Like, that would be, like, fucking awesome. Like, I would love to go... You know what? I want to go into that one universe where Spider-Man 4 actually happened.
Yes.
I also
I
want
would
to go
love
into
to
the
see
one
what
with
they
the...
would have done.
Me too. I also want to go to the one where Amazing Spider-Man 3 actually happened.
Yeah.
But
Just to see the
that being
alternatives.
said, you know, what I also liked about this episode, it kind of, I really like the conflict here, because it's like, it kind of also brings up, you know, now that you know the truth of what's going on, you know, do you really want to stay living in a world where it's gone to shit? You know what I mean? Like, the Matrix, you know, you go into the Matrix, you're guaranteed safety, kind of, but you're guaranteed, like, hey, you'll be fine, you know, you'll have a somewhat cushy lifestyle, but you're out of the Matrix, you know the truth, and it's like, oh, well, it's a barren wasteland, and robot tentacles are gonna kill you. It's like, you kind of, sure, like, I would have that conflict. I'd be like, oh, fuck this kind of sucks. But you have just the characters here with Sis and, you know, Duo, and then Sis is like, no, and then they fight, and I thought the action sequences looked great, and then I'm like, because I'm thinking about it, I'm like, well, Sis isn't gonna die, because, like, when they started to slow down, and I'm like, uh-oh. Like, because when you see, like, the slow motion effects, you're like, oh, shit's gonna go down, and, like, they do, like, some illusion stuff in there, where, like, you know, she puts up, like, the walls, and then, Duo, like, breaks through the walls, and then the two fight, and then of course the swords break, and then the slow-mo comes in, and then she grabs the sword, and then she breaks it off, and then she like stabs him with it. I was like, oh, that was sick. And then
Well,
then it
Matrix is
ends.
best known for its action.
Pretty true, except for the fourth one. Which,
Yeah, lack of.
Yeah, I would say, and then of course it all reveals to be a simulation. They're like, "Hey, you passed," and then she punches the guy in the face, which I was like, "All right, that was pretty cool." But yeah, I'd say overall this again looked pretty good. The animation was great. I think the story and concept were cool. Like everything worked. Speaking of ones that probably didn't work as much for me, World Record was I think another one. This one was good. I would say this one's I would say like the ending part was cool, but I like towards the end it picked up, but I was like it was kind of slow. Like it's about this guy named Dan Davis. Well, actually no, the concept of this actually kind of looking back on it was pretty good, but I'd say it's just very slow in getting there. This character named Dan, he's he's an athlete. He runs track, and apparently he's got some injuries. And he's trying to break a record, and one of his managers are like, "Yeah, maybe you shouldn't do this, because if you do it, you'll probably fucking die." And then the guy's like, "Well, I'm gonna do it anyway." And so he runs the track, and as he's running, like you see, like cutaways to him talking to I think he was like talking to his dad, and like he's talking to people, and then he's running, and like next thing you see like his fucking I believe he blown out his he got like a really bad injury. Like I think it's like one of his like muscles like exploded. Like it like ruptured, which but I also want to say the animation here looked great too. So both of his legs basically rupture, and then like time slows down. And then as time slows down, you see like a bunch of Agent Smiths come in, and then they're like, don't let him wake up. And so he's like, he's trying to push through it, but it's like all paused, and then all like the track numbers, like they float off. And then it's like, then you see him like while he's running, he's actually running out of the Matrix. And then one of the Sentinels come in, and then like they put him back in, and then he gets shocked right back in, and then it looks like you think he died, type of thing. Like he breaks his record, but he's not moving. Which then we find out that he's actually still alive. He's just in a wheelchair, and
He'll never run again.
The Agent Smiths make sure he doesn't walk again, and then they erase his memory so that way he doesn't come back, he doesn't wake back up, and then but then as the final twist, he breaks out of his restraints. That's really, I personally, this was good, but it felt like one of those like, it's a really cool concept because it's like it's one of those things where you don't have to be woken up from the Matrix to leave the Matrix type of thing.
You can just snap out of it by accident.
Yeah.
With this story, what kind of sparked like a thought in my head is like, what if you're like this great like achiever in the Matrix, and you somehow wake up or you get out of the world and you realize, wow, none of that happened. I am not this great. My physical body can't do anything I trained for. All that work meant nothing. It's basically like putting that work in a video game, It's like,
yeah.
Man, how soul-crushing is that?
Especially when but it would also be like really weird, especially in like real life where, you're doing something, then next thing you know, you're out of the Matrix. It's like, oh shit, what the fuck?
You don't even have muscle because you never actually did that.
Yeah. But but overall,
I was gonna say, like, then again, like, how would your mind adjust to your real body from your Matrix body? Would your mind like have those same patterns to have that memory, or like know how to do it? Or would your body just say, yeah, no, bud?
I mean, you would have to have like some sort of like brain pattern
Knowledge. Yeah.
to help you.
You just have to train your body again, maybe. But it's still just like a crazy thing to think. It's like, imagine doing so much work and it meant nothing.
Kavar's like this sounds like Detroit Become Human or Westworld.
Yeah, a little
something
bit
like
with the androids and the sentinels.
Honestly, all this sounds like something America would do. Well, yeah, I mean, maybe. Honestly, with the way shit's been going, kind of hoping this shit is fake. Me too. Professor Austin unraveling the mystery of the universe. Hey, one step at a time, I guess. All right. The next story, I believe, it ties back into the last Matrix movie we talked about, which was Matrix Reloaded. Yeah, this
The prelude.
Right?
Right?
It's a kid story. Yeah, it talks about basically it kind of talks about the kid. The kid is the character from Matrix Reloaded that Neo quote unquote saved, and the way it starts is basically he's like falling, and then it cuts to him waking up. So it's like one of those like dreams that you have, and it kind of goes back to dreams are kind of like the multiverse in a way, where it's like if you dreamed it, it probably happened in like another universe
Yeah.
type of thing.
Doctor Strange did that, which was a very cool thing to think about.
I feel like this movie I feel like I've seen a lot of things kind of handle that better than Doctor Strange.
Why? Yeah.
But it kind of resembles like Neo in a way, because like you saw how in the first movie he's like communicating through like the computer, and then like someone's talking back to him, and he's like what type of thing, and then of course shit hit his Agent Smiths find out, and then you find out that the kid's in class, and he's like trying to talk and be like, the phone's ringing, and the professor's telling the lecturer, he's like, hey, shut your phone off, like every school ever. So anyway, it keeps ringing, and then see, the thing is like when the phone rings, it's like you hear like the phone the ringing like is distorted a little bit, especially with the second go around. But the Matrix it was such a really cool in a way, where it's like the phone rings again, and then next thing you know, you hear Lawrence Fishburne through the other side of the phone, which Lawrence Fishburne is great. I just got to say that I think he's awesome.
Oh yeah.
And
His
so
voice,
he's like, he's telling him, oh yeah, there's a bunch of Agent Smiths outside, and then he's like, oh shit, and then he has to escape, and then the professor's like, hey, get back here, you son of a bitch. And then like he goes to the girls' bathroom, and they're like, oh my god, get out of here, you creep. And then runs out, tries to escape. Next thing you know, then the Agent Smiths, are like cornering him, and then he has to fall off the roof, angel style. He's like, Neo, save me. And then that's kind of like I guess the one quote that was prevalent throughout the little short story was Neo, save me. And then
because Neo's like a god to these people. He's the chosen one, so he's like everyone's Jesus Christ in the Matrix.
So Neo basically does save him, sort of, and then in the Matrix he's actually dead. Or no, in the Matrix the kid's actually dead. And then I think they're talking about how this basically kind of talks about what the Matrix is about, is how it's like a fabrication, how this world is a fabrication of things, and so it's kind of it kind of goes back to what we said earlier, is that this world is kind of a fabrication, and it's like what we see type of thing. So I mean, and how it was a cold place and it's a cold place for some people. So I'm not gonna go too deep into it because we kind of talked about it earlier, but
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's a good stuff. World of Love and Peace Crab, what's up? asked, what was your favorite episode of the Animatrix? Ooh, that's a tough one. I would say it's a tie between, I think, the last story, Matricated, and Oh, it's a tie between three. I would say Second Renaissance Part 2, Program, or I would say Matricated.
Me personally, I was gonna say like either like program or even like I kind of like the concept of a detective story, just because it's like, man, like I'll get into that once we get to it, but I don't know. It's just being a detective in a world like this. It's a cool perspective.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Like, it just looked like I even like the animation on the detective story looked great, which we'll talk about when we get to the detective story. All right, we're at 15 minutes, so I feel like I should probably hurry up a little bit, but at the same time, I think we're having such a good time though. So
Yeah.
Next up is like this one's a bit more, I guess, a little lighthearted at the beginning. Jesus. Sorry, hang on, give me a sec. Had to resituate myself. This one's a little bit more lighthearted this time around. It's not really anything deep. It starts off with this girl named Yoko, and she has a cat. The cat, runs away like every cat does, and so she's like trying to look around for this cat, but she can't find him. So there's these group of kids, and then they tell them, hey, the cat's over here, and then they're like, oh, okay. And then she's like, oh, okay, sure, cool. Which then they go into the where she goes into the house, and how in like time travel movies there's like amalgamations, which is stuff that shouldn't be there, like glitches. Like, this is basically what this episode was about, was like a glitch in the Matrix where there was this house, but like it's one of those things where like if you were like to fall, you would actually end up floating or something, or like you could make things be really slow or make things really bright type of thing. Like it was like that type of episode, and so then there's like a zero gravity effect, and she see all of these bunch of kids, playing around, and like they're fucking about because you can do that, and like they can do all like these really cool stuff, and like they fall to see who's gonna fall to the ground first, and then like one of the kids had like blood coming out of his nose, and then so that all that stuff happened, and she ends up finding the cat, and there's like this little girl, and so then like they're outside, and then they're like, shit, let's just fuck around a little bit. Meanwhile, like all the Agent Smiths are coming around, and they're like, oh shit, like something's wrong here, like this probably shouldn't happen. And then they had to go fix it, and they ended up doing it, and they make it seem like it's exterminators, but it's actually not. It's just Agent Smiths just be like, all right, fuck, we gotta clean this up. So then they clean it out, and it just ends with Yoko being like, oh shit, well I guess we got nothing to do now, because I guess it's no more fun, I guess. And then all the kids are disappointed.
That's a cute one.
Which, trust me, yeah, it's nothing that was like overly dark or serious. It was just something a little bit more lighthearted to kind of break the tension a little bit.
Also, I found was cool is like that there's stories from different parts of the world showing like how big the Matrix really is. Like it is the whole world that's fake.
Yeah.
Because we only see stuff from America.
Yeah, that's kind of how it is, I guess.
Yeah, it's just cool. Little cool thing I pointed out.
Very true. Very true. All right. I think there's like two more stories, which I believe the next one is actually the detective story, which is ironically called
Or
detective story where it was actually in like more of like an old school timey like black and white esque animation. Yeah, it looked great.
I also love how
actually,
everything
fun
has
fact,
its own style. Sorry.
Yeah, it's like one of those like animated movies where because they have like different teams working on it, like one style could be like anime style, the other one could be like black and white, like noir style. Then you could have like a very just like 3D-esque animation, or it could be like it's just so many possibilities
And it
that
all is
work
great.
so well. Yeah. Like I think that's why I like them being short stories, not like one whole film. Because if it gets like one like just film with like different types of animation, it might not work as well. But
Plus, you can see so many different
stories,
perspectives.
yeah, like it's like kind of like how maybe like how like what kind of animation do you see like one art team doing, or like what another one does? Like there's so many real possibilities that could happen because of it that it just feels like so organic. Yeah, basically again, this one's just kind of simple. It's really just about a detective just trying to find Trinity, who is like an actor. So that trying and he's failing throughout, and it's like, which fun fact, the detective is played by James Arnold Taylor, who for some of you Star Wars fans out there played the Obi-Wan in Clone Wars. So there's a little fun factoid for you. But anyway, so he's trying to find him, but like he can't do it because Trinity, and it's like, oh fuck, she's hacking her way through the Matrix. And so he does end up finding her eventually because he's using, and I believe he finds her for using little like phrases and factoids from.
Nice. All right. I guess Austin's internet's really not beating the heat.
I was literally in the middle of monologuing there, and it.
In the profile picture.
Oh my god! Is it fucking?
It's Steve Carell.
Oh, Steve. Oh, you can see that. Oh, okay, that actually helps me. Okay, I was about to say, I'm like, oh shit, is this fucked up again? Nah, it's all right.
You came back, and that's all I can imagine your face.
Yeah, that's basically my face right now.
But yeah, like he finds Trinity, but it's like dangerous because every detective to find her always ends up like pretty dead.
And then all the Agent Smiths come in, and then they're like, "Yo, what the fuck you doing?" And then the detective's like, "No, fuck you." And so, they end up fighting a little bit, and then, they fight, and then all the agents are, they're shooting out, and then, he's like, then he starts glitching out, and then Trinity's like, "Oh fuck, well then I gotta kill you now." They shoots him. And then they kind of talk a little bit. They apologize, or she apologizes. He's like, "Oh fuck, I'm sorry, I can't go with you." And then it's like, "Oh shit, oh well, I guess." She ends up leaving, and then all the agents come in, and then this detective is a badass because he just like has like a cigar in his mouth, like he lights it, and he has like a gun pointed at the agents. It's like, dude, that was pretty fucking macho and pretty cool. But again, it's nothing that's like really complex. It's just a detective story. Like it's nothing that's. I mean, it's just again, it's like a couple of these stories really aren't like overly complex or really stuff to talk about. Just more like, they're there to kind of like pad it out a little bit. Nothing that's too major. It's just like, nah, okay, it's all right, type of thing. But yeah, I mean, it's just, again, another pretty decent story here, and which leads me into the last one, which is Matriculated, which, where, again, it's kind of like, This one's at least a little bit more complex, but I think it's more like the animation that tells the story, though.
Mm.
Less than the plot, actually. Yeah. So basically, the animation here is great. I'm gonna try and like rush through this because it's I do agree it's getting a little late. It's 11:20. It's going a little longer than I really thought it was gonna go. So I'm gonna try
Mainly
and
because
go.
of technical difficulties.
Yeah, so basically, the rebels have to they're like luring these machines because, they're hacking them because they want to teach them like human emotions, turn them good. And they managed to capture one, and there's like this little like creature that they have, and there's this, female named Alexa, and then they basically plug them into their own matrix, and then like everything's so like like acid trippy, very 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 strange type thing, but it's very colorful, and they're trying to teach this machine like kind of one of the machines, they call them runners, and they teach one of the runners like how to like teach them all the emotions, like like mystery, like horror, like empathy, like all like human emotions. And so then throughout like that whole like little sequence, like you see the machine have like instead of having like the body, like you see him like shed its skin, and like you see it turn into like this, have like a human like body, like humanoid like body. It looked like you see it have legs, arms, like all that jazz. Like you see like go from red light to green light type of thing. And just the animation, that like just that sequence alone looked beautiful. Like the animation itself reminds me of like when they're outside of like the Matrix. Like it reminds me of like the like early 2000s like animation,
I mean, it is.
because it came out in 2003. But it looked beautiful. Which are then of course Sentinels attack, and then the rebels all die. But then the machine's like good now, and then like one of them like is like captured, and then next thing everyone's dead, and then he plugs actually the female, I think the character's name is Alexa, and then he puts her in the Matrix, and then she ends up dying. Then the machine kind of just ends with him looking like out over the sea where like the main character was doing, and that was basically the end of the Animatrix. I know I kind of rushed through the last couple, but it's like 11:22, and I'm getting tired. I know Angry CareBears is getting tired, so
Yeah, I'm always tired.
So I'm gonna like wrap it up, and I'm gonna sum up my thoughts here. I thought this was really good. I mean, I think for a compilation of short stories, like different animation, I think it all worked. I would easily say this is probably the most underrated animated films, at least underappreciated. At least I think this was actually excellent. Like when we're talking about like, and I would even say this is easily better than The Matrix Reloaded. I'd say it's definitely not better than the first Matrix, but I think there's enough here that I would say puts it above Reloaded, because Reloaded is more like an action film, but I feel like with this one you think a little bit more, and it's just and it's so appealing to look at. Like animation itself for the most part is really appealing to look at, as long as it's really pretty. Like if it's pretty, animation is always like smooth animation, it always looks great.
I gotta say the same thing. This movie is like fantastic. I'd still probably prefer the first movie just because of how iconic it is and how it's the thing that starts it all. But this movie is like second best, easily, almost just as good. Definitely recommend it. It's like a 8 or 9 out of 10 A movie. It is good, and I definitely recommend you watch it.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it an A minus. I think this movie was, again, not on par. It's definitely not on par with the original, but it's definitely really good. I'd say
Yeah.
it's better than Matrix Reloaded, which that was a good movie too. But I think if I was in the mood for a Matrix film, I probably honestly I might watch this even over the original Matrix because while I think the original Matrix is a better movie, I think
This
the
one's
original
easy
Matrix,
to stomach.
yeah, like, and it's also like under an hour, so it's like, no, okay, you know, it's like a good time killing movie, but it's really good though. So I definitely would recommend it. Go check it out if you haven't seen it. If you have seen it, then hey, watch it again because it's just a really good movie. Really, really good. But with that being said, ladies and gents, we are going to wrap up here. It's 11:25. We got over an hour, and this is the first stream we've had in a while, man, and we got a pretty solid turnout tonight.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I want to thank World of Love and Peacecraft, Penny, the usuals, Kavari, Penny, Ninjoid was in the house. I know Deshaun was here too. So guys, before we go again, the link is up there. Fuck, I didn't pin this. I don't know why, but our group channel, please go and sub if you haven't done so already, because you know we need some more subs over there, and we definitely would appreciate it. Because you know the four of us we got some cool stuff coming up. So maybe not like right away, but like sooner rather than later. You know, me, Angry CareBears, Jerry, Jonathan, we're gonna have some content over there. We might eventually even put this show over on the group channel too, but we're just gonna have to wait and see though. Yeah, but before we end it though, also I kind of want to apologize for my internet. It's really hot over where we're at. Like, because me and Angry CareBears basically live in the same area, and it's fucking hot out. Like, I know it's hot out everywhere else, but like, fuck, man, it's like really humid out. It's sweaty. It's like, fuck, it's disgusting, and yeah, it's not fun. But yeah, before we go, I'm gonna let Angry CareBears let her tell everybody where they can find her at, and then we'll sign off for the night. So, Angry CareBears, where can they find you at?
You can find me on Angry CareBears on my YouTube channel where I upload whenever I feel like it, or on Austin's channel whenever we feel like doing these streams. On Austinator and Friend Talk Pop Culture and these reviews we do.
Very nice, very nice. And then she's also going to be part of the group channel, of course.
Yeah.
We got to keep plugging that.
I'm the token woman.
Very true, very true. And also congrats on just breaking 500 subs.
Thank you so much.
Like, everybody in chat, before we leave, I want everybody to put in congrats to Angry CareBears for hitting 500.
Thank you so much.
Come on, thank her, chat. Thank her, chat. What the fuck's going on, chat?
Everyone's sleepy. They're tired. It's almost midnight.
I get it's 11:30, but you can say thank you. You don't gotta be rude. Did your mom teach you those manners?
Thank you, World of Love and Peacecraft. Cool name, too, by the way.
World of Love and Peacecraft. See, I like you. You were the only person that said congrats. And you know what? I said thank you. You know what? Thank you for being the nicest one in the chat tonight. World of Love and Peacecraft, you're pretty cool.
On God.
You like the Matrix and Terminator have a similar theme. It's like a religious perspective. Yeah, I agree with that, man. Very agree. Well, at least with my channel, I don't really have much going on.
I'm gonna subscribe to you, sir. Thank you very much for congratulating me.
Actually, hang on. Have I subbed to you yet? Might. I got a sub. Hang on. Here, I subbed to you. And he's like, oh my god, so many Last of Us videos.
That ain't me. I only have like 2.
Nobody wants to talk about Last of Us.
Last of Us 1 is good. 2 does not exist.
I refuse to acknowledge them. Well, World of Love of Peacecraft said, thank you for subscribing. Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Here, am I also subbed to Penny's channel? Hang on, let me Let me go to your channel here. Let me sub to your channel here. Here, here. There you go. I subbed you, so. You know what, Penny? I subbed you, so you get 1 sub.
Hey.
There you go.
I'm pretty sure I'm sub to you, Penny.
Well, other than that, I don't really have much going on my channel. I just got maybe some gaming vids. I think more like I know a lot of the usual shows have been on, you know, kind of on the sideline, but right now because I got work, I really don't have a lot of time. So really, the weekend is the only time I can really stream. So this is probably going to be the only show moving on for at least the next couple weeks because I just don't have time for anything else. So the next the next stream at least is going to be the TheMatrixRevolutions review, which is the last Matrix movie to have ever existed.
Yep. Yoo-hoo.
So, you know, no, I'm just kidding. I know we got 2 more, but still. But yeah, no, I think that about does it, though. I mean, we had a few people here tonight, so hey, I'll take it for a first stream back. I feel like
It's pretty good. Pretty good.
Feel good about it. So, guys, we are going to sign off for tonight. I want to thank everybody again. And, of course, this is the Austinator and Angry CareBears signing out.
Bye.
Peace.